Yeah, it is for everybody. College basketball, conference play. So if there's any advantage, some teams travel, some teams stay at home, but it all kind of evens out. But certainly for us, it's a tough stretch. But we're fortunate to have two of our first three at home. So if we're going to be a part of the fight, we got to find a way to protect our home court. Easier said than done because we're playing against a really good team. Again, I think Oklahoma will be in the fight for the conference championship this year. They have all the ingredients with experience being at the top of the list.
Coach, you mentioned the grad transfers, but what have you seen Christian James develop over his career? He's been there, it seems like, forever now.
First of all, you got to look at the coaching. When a guy goes from 2 points to 5 points to 12 points to now one of the best scorers in the country, what you're talking about is player development. And we've seen this before at Oklahoma and also everywhere coach has been, whether it be Pan American or K-State, UNLV, Illinois, the NBA. Sound like his agent, don't I? Might be missing a couple schools in there, but he's a coach that young coaches look up to because they play the right way. He's won different ways and different styles over his career, but certainly the players at Oklahoma get better, and I hope that people say the same thing about our program.
Can you talk to us about what you've seen from those grad transfers? You got to see one of them last year with Maine.
First of all, they're really, really quick. They're fast. They have BCS, Big 12 type speed. I think Coach Self mentioned that after the Kansas-Oklahoma game. So these guys are quick. They can control the game. So you got to be very careful in offense and defense when you're trying to play around them or in the same area because they both have elite speed. I think they're, like Matt and Tariq were saying, they're just experienced guys. You can tell there's no panic in them. They're experienced. They're very, very competitive. They're two of the best transfers in the country. They made their impact on the Oklahoma program very, very visible. Those guys all played with Trey last year, and I think they got better moving without the ball and cutting, and now it's time for other people to have the ball and make plays, and those guys are answering the call.
Chris, based on the film that you've watched, what on the scouting report and on the film has really been like a matchup nightmare, or just like what stood out to you the most in general about this team?
With Oklahoma?
Yeah.
They just have versatile players. I don't think they really have a center on their roster, would be one example. They have forwards that can drive. They have big guys that can shoot, and they're skilled. So a lot of times they'll put 4 playmaking players on the floor. So this puts a lot of pressure on your defense.
Guess just with Oklahoma and obviously kind of playing them with a different type of team this year, Coach, I guess what's kind of the biggest – factor defensively that you kind of have to deal with, not having to look at a Trey Young. You kind of have multiple guys this time around.
Yeah, it's just a roster where at any time, any guy on the court for them, the 5 players on the court can hurt you, can score. They have great balance. Looking at a team that has 4 or 5 guys in double figures. James is playing at a really, really good level, but they've got 4 or 5 guys in that same category. They don't really have a best player type guy. They have 5 or 6 best players. So it's a balanced team. It's an experienced team. Defensively, that always gives you problems because you focus on one thing and another thing could get you. And certainly on the other end of the floor, they're the best defensive rebounding team in college basketball. Coming into this game, they're number 1 in the country statistically with defensive rebounds. So we better value the ball. We better take good shots because we're not going to get a lot of shots each possession the way they rebound it. So definitely one of the best teams in our league, which translates to one of the best teams in the country. This team has all the ingredients to make a March run and to compete for championships. Great coaching, experience, shooting, ball handling, defensive playmakers. It's going to be a great challenge for us.
Just from your perspective, what's made you all so good on defense so far? I know obviously adding Tariq has obviously added the shot blocking ability at the rim, but I guess what else has kind of allowed you all to kind of take that next step?
It's a player's game. You got to give our players the credit. We got guys that have bought in, veterans that came back that continue to make changes in their game defensively and always trying to get better. New players like Matt and Tariq were up here earlier. We've asked them to do a lot defensively, things they've never been asked to do before, and so the players just really buy in. So any kind of success that we have on either side of the floor, I think the people you got to give credit to are the players.
Last one for me with Morrow, I guess, how have you kind of seen his on-the-ball defense just improve? I know that was one thing that you kind of mentioned last year that you wanted to see him kind of improve, and he had 3 steals in that last game.
And a lot of things with Morrow. One, just the adjustment from European basketball to college basketball, understanding how the officials call the game, how the game works. He spent a lot of time in the film room. He's always trying to learn, too, the obvious physical changes to his body with John in the weight room. Last year he was trying to do a lot of things in his head, but his body wouldn't follow. And now he's gotten where he's a lot stronger. He spends a lot of time in the film room. And, I mean, Morrow's a tough kid. A lot of times toughness is associated with maybe a guy that looks a little bit different than Morrow. But make no mistake, Morrow is tough. He's competitive. You know, he's got a little fight in him.
You've talked about consistency a lot this season. What are some things that you want to see from your offense to become more consistent?
Yeah, the obvious is taking care of the basketball. Still having too many turnovers the last 4 or 5 games. I think our players are really trying hard on that. We just need to work on our decision-making and our ball handling. A lot of times the play is there, but, you know, you got to understand you're in the Big 12 and the other guys got really good players. So trying to get the guys to understand, no, we don't need home runs. We don't need touchdown passes. We just need base hits, and we need first downs. We need to move the sticks. And so I think decision-making and ball handling would help our turnover problem.
Yeah, I think we learned, you know, the Big 12 is really hard to get wins. In the second half, we didn't come out the way we wanted to, and we let them right back in the game. And every game will be like that if you let – like every team's good. So, you know, in the second half, we really got to be ready to go and put a step on somebody's throat when we got the opportunity to.
Tariq, I guess the same thing for him. What did you guys really learn about that K-State game?
Pretty much what Matt said. You know, the Big 12 is really tough. At this level, every team has a lot of talent. Night in and night out, we're going to be in tough games, so we have to really impose our will when we can, you know, and take care of business when we're up or whether when we're down, either way. You know, just put together 40 minutes because that's what it's going to take to win a game every night in the Big 12.
You didn't feel like you guys maybe played your best game against Kansas State, but what do you think it says about this team to still not play up to your full potential and be able to get a Big 12 win, which we all know is really hard to do?
Yeah, we keep finding ways to win, you know, and guys keep stepping up. Morrill really stepped up at the end of that game, and against West Virginia, guys stepped up, made big plays. So, you know, that shows a lot about our character and our heart, but, you know, we're always searching for ways to improve and to put together a full game.
Tariq, I guess just to speak to what you've been able to do on the defensive end, to block in every game that you've played. I guess what's your mentality kind of going into every game?
Really just to you know, protect our side of the court, protect the rim. You know, but it takes all of us to play defense. I can't do what I do without my teammates. We all have assignments that we have to do. You know, we have a scouting report every game, so you know, the whole team as a whole, everybody has to be locked in on the defensive end. That goes for players on the court as well as players who are on the bench who help us by talking on the bench when we're on our end on the floor. So, you know, it's fun to be able to do what I do, but at the end of the day, I can't do it without the 5 guys on the court and everybody else.
From your perspective, what was that block and then obviously the Davide 3 in terms of momentum shift? I guess what did that kind of mean to you and kind of help y'all?
It was huge for us. You know, especially in the second half where things weren't going exactly how we wanted to, but we were just trying to find ways to pull out the victory. So at that moment in the game, I think they might have been on a run, and you know that just helped us end the run, and you know just swing the momentum back in our favor. You know, really got the crowd going. You know, just back-to-back plays. It was a swing. So you know, plays like that always get us going.
I know everyone always looks at the threes and kind of the offense, but I guess how important is the defense for y'all, especially this year? Like you said, just kind of switching momentum your way and kind of getting you guys back in that fight.
It's very important. You know, offense, you have nights where offense goes ups and downs, but if you have a really good defense and, you know, you keep your defense consistent, your defense can always win you a game and you can always keep you in a game, and then you just got to come down and make the small plays on the offensive end, but your defense can always keep you in it. And so that's what we just take pride in, always being locked in defensively and always trying to, you know, hold our opponents to certain numbers.
I know Davide was obviously not happy with the 5 turnovers he had, but he found other ways to help y'all win. I guess just speak to what he's been able to do on the defensive end and just from being a little bit tougher on the offensive end and being able to make those big layups for y'all.
Yeah, Morrill's a guy everybody loves to play with. He's unselfish, and he usually makes the right play. That play he made defensively towards the end of the game where he dove on the floor a couple times, that was an amazing play, huge play for us, and really got the crowd going and got us going. He really stepped up, made some big shots, and he's a big-time player. I mean, he was playing pro ball over in Italy, so he's been there before.
Matt, what have you really seen from Oklahoma, a team with a lot of experience in the top 25 as well? That there wasn't a lot of hype around them coming into this offseason as well. What have you seen from them on the scouting report that really sticks out to you? Yeah,
they're really well coached. Coach Kruger's an amazing coach. Like Coach said, they got seniors, they got older guys who are experienced. Seems like their team is really tight and together. They're one of the top defenses in the country. They'll try to ISO a lot. They're a talented team, and they're older. They got some veterans, and they're well coached.
Any other questions? Same thing for Tariq. What have you seen from Oklahoma during this little bit of scouting you guys have been able to do?
Pretty much the same thing Matt said. They're an older team. They have a lot of seniors. They have 2 grad transfers just like we do. So they have a lot of experience in their locker room to go with the talent that they have. Like we've been saying, it's the Big 12. Everybody has talent. So, they're a really close team, and you can see it on film. They play really hard, really aggressive. So, just going to be a battle for 40 minutes.